Hey YouTube, what's going on? My name's Gabe Bowling and thank you guys for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to be diving into multifamily real estate investing and more specifically, a little bit of the back of the napkin math on how to figure out how much upside that there is at a property and ultimately figuring out how much money can you actually make by investing in multifamily. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump right in. I wanted to keep this video pretty high level because you have to spend some time just wrapping your head around just this aspect when it comes to investing in real estate, especially multifamily real estate. The only reason I say this is because once you understand it, you fully grasp it, and you start looking at deals a little bit differently because you've wrapped your head around this, you're going to want to buy as many deals as you can. So what is this formula? Why are we going over it? And how do you use it? This formula is to figure out how much value that you've created at a property. So we go over multifamily investing, and part of this is creating value in properties. That way, whenever you buy them, you have a plan to exit and how you're going to sell it and make a bunch of money once you do. So as you're getting acclimated into the space, all I want you to do as an exercise to really grip into this formula is just start looking at as many deals as you can, doing the back of the napkin underwriting, so you can figure out, man, if I found this 32 unit deal and we can increase the rents $200, this is how much new value I think that we can create to this property. And so on this whiteboard, I wanted to give you an example. We're working off a 32 unit apartment complex today, and I'm showing you exactly what would happen to that property, or at least the value of the property, if you were able to take the rents from $1,000 to $1,300. This is seriously all we're doing. Whether it takes renovations, whether it's just a management play, people picking up the phone and calling, whatever it might be, we as an investor have identified that we should be able to go in and increase the rents from $1,000 to $1,300. So what happens when you do this successfully to all 32 units, you just do the math. You do 32 units times $300 per month, and then you do that times 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And whenever you're dealing with commercial real estate, it's always going to be based on annualized numbers. You come up with $115,000 of new additional income that property generated, because all you did was simply take the rents from $1,000 to $1,300. And so, okay, that's cool. One, you've increased cash flows. You've actually made cash flow explode. So you've added 115 grand of new cash flow to the property. That's cool. It seems like a lot. Everybody gets excited. An additional 10 grand a month of cash flow. Everybody gets excited. This is what you should be excited about, is because when you add $115,000 to that property's net income, not only do you make the cash flow explode, but you also make the value of the property explode too. Because the way that commercial real estate trades or is valued, it's based on the amount of net income that is produced at the property. So you use this metric, it's called a cap rate. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. If you don't know what any of this is, jump into the channel. I do a ton of free stuff and have a ton of resources for everybody. In today's environment, let's say that we could sell the property at a 6 cap. All I'm going to do to figure out how much value I added to the property is I'm going to take the new income, which is $115,000, and I'm going to divide it by 0.06, or a 6% cap rate. That's the metric that's used to value these apartment buildings. So I'll do the math with you right here. We're taking $300 times 32 units. That's an extra 10 grand a month times 12. It's 115 grand of new income. And then I'm going to take this and divide it by 0.06. Total add-on of value of $1.92 million. We added $2 million of value to the property by increasing the rents by $300 per unit per month. And so you're probably wondering, like, okay, that's insane. First off, we added $2 million of property, but how does that actually land in your bank account? Does all $2 million, how does that actually work in the business? Ultimately, how much money can you actually make by buying a 32 unit apartment complex without using any or very little of your own money? Let me walk you through the example of how you would have bought the deal and then the exit if you could have hit the $300 rent increase. So 32 units, let's say we bought it for $4 million 2 years ago. We put a $3 million loan on it, and then our equity is $1 million. So how do you even buy that deal with no money? It comes down to education and people. Get educated, learn how to identify what makes a great deal, and then once you do, all it is from there is just finding the right people. My first deal was an $8.2 million deal, and it's 55 units. How did I do it? People. That's all it is. We bought the deal for $4 million. I had somebody come in, sign on the loan with me, and then I raised the $1 million from 10 people at 100 grand each. So we bought the deal, and we've executed now on our business plan where we increased the rents from $1,000 to $1,300. We moved it $300, and we've added the 115 grand of new income. We should be able to sell this property for about $6 million. Because remember, it added $2 million of value. We bought it at 4, we sell it at 6. And so what happens to you and the investors in it? Remember, we bought it for 4, but we only invested $1 million. Remember, we bought it for 4, we put a $3 million loan on it, and we have $1 million invested. So this is our equity. The returns is going to be based on the equity invested. We sell it for $6 million. We pay off the original $3 million loan. And once we do, we're left over with $3 million. So depending on how you set this up and who you did the deal with, there's so many different ways that you can split this up. But just to paint you a picture, how I would go about it is we bought the deal for 4, we invested $1 million, we paid off the loan, and there's $3 million left over. What I would do and what's industry standard is I would return the $1 million of capital that was invested. For example, say you gave me $1 million. I bought the deal, we did it, we sold it for $6 million, right? We pay off the loan. I send you back the original $1 million that you invested. So you got cash flow from the property, and then I send you back $1 million. Of the $2 million that's left over, I'll do an 80-20 split. 80% of it goes to you and 20 of it comes back to Bowling Capital for doing everything. That's how I run my deals, except it's much larger than a $4 million deal. And so that 20% is a much bigger number. So maybe on a smaller deal like this, maybe we do 50-50 or 60-40 or 70-30. There's really no right or wrong way in doing it. All you have to do is just find the money. Once you find the $1 million, then you come up with the terms from there. I wanted to walk you through and show you actually how do you make money investing in multifamily and how do you build a real business out of it. So again, I hope this displayed really a high level understanding of the business plan of, okay, how do we buy deals? How do we execute the business plan on these deals to create and pretty much force the appreciation or the value? And then how do we exit once we make a ton of money in doing so for both the investor and the operator. And so if you want to learn more about what we're doing, check out the links in my description. I have tons of resources. I have a 2-hour-long course. It's only $7. I have a mastermind. We meet every single week. It's called The Deal Room. Check it out. The links are below. And the most important thing that you guys do is always make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep growing the channel and bringing awesome multifamily content like this out there. My name is Gabe Bowling, and peace.